You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Mob Wives After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Mob Wives After Show.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? Bing is for doing, and we are doing another AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Mob Wives Season 2, Episode 11, Torn Apart. I'm joined in studio with Sir Cameron Martson.
Good evening.
And Sir Mykee Wattz.
Hello.
Engineering the boat is Sir Ronnie Jr.
What's up?
Now, guys, we need your help. I'm going to say it again, say it every week. iTunes, if you guys are listening to us, download our podcast. We appreciate it, but please let us know. Comment, rate, tell us how bad we suck, tell us how awesome we are, whatever you want to. Shit, just tell us what you thought of Big Ange this episode. Just comment, rate,
Big
iTunes.
Ange.
Big Ange. Now, speaking of Big Ange, way to set up the episode. Mm-hmm. What goes around comes around, full circle. Big Ange sat down with Ramona and Karen. Of course, they had drinks. And I have to say this about this show. I'm over the going out for lunch thing. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, I love this show, but it doesn't have there's a void in it compared to the Housewives. I think the Housewives are a little more real than this. Literally, this is all they do is just go out and get drinks or get food, or they're at Renee's house. It's those three situations, and it's just like, other than that, I feel like everything's set up, and I'm kind of over it.
Well, I wonder too, because I thought about that before. I wonder too if, because of the content and what they're discussing or what this show is representing, are they limited in their access to other things and what people want, or in their establishments, or to be connected to, or is there retaliation or fallout because of it? And,
well, I'm sure they can't divulge every aspect of their life.
well, I mean, that's just commercially. I mean, do these establishments want them in there? You know, like how we talked about other shows where no, you can have their certain corner of the room and it has to be locked tight, whatever.
Could be. So, of course, they're getting drinks, and they talk about Uncle Sal, who Big Ange calls dogs, because he's like a pit bull. And I thought it was interesting, Big Ange talked about how her friend, back in the day, had a wire.
With the wire.
And ratted her out while she was peeing in the bathroom.
They played the tape so you could hear it.
That would kind of almost be really amazing, too.
Hell yeah.
You hear those tapes while she's, like, in the bathroom talking to her. I'm just really upset.
Well, somebody's chopping up lines of cocaine.
Right.
That's how they used to do it. We all know.
is.
Mirrors and razor blades.
And like Big Ange said, those days are never coming back. Those were the good days. And only you and me know, Karen. Only you and me know. So, yeah, Big Ange kind of... You didn't really entertain this week, Big Ange.
No.
She was kind of slow this week. I'm just going to breeze over this story. Renee and Ramona had to sit down.
Didn't quite understand that. Like, I trust you, Ramona, and I could face the different direction if you're sitting there because you're just as crazy. I didn't get that.
Okay, so you haven't had the conversation with Drita yet. You guys have been back now. How don't you see yourself as crazy? How don't you see yourself as... Drita told me something, but then Ramona, went against it. So now I'm on Ramona's side, but I'm not going to go talk to Drita about it, and now Ramona's my best friend.
It's called medication.
And we're gonna get to that medication in a little bit, but
Right
let's
next to the bedside.
let's focus on Ramona right now. Ramona was giving us this sob story about how she feels. Which I do feel for her kids, but then she started. I just feel like it's so pushed with Ramona's story and her father not caring about her and just walks in and out of the kids' lives. I mean, do you have any thoughts on?
No, just extension of that desire to be validated, not just publicly, but personally, and vice versa. That's all.
Mykee, what are your thoughts on Ramona?
I don't think Ramona really cares as much as Renee. So she even said it herself. You get over it.
Well, that's what Kevin made mention of. She was able to get out, and she comes in when she chooses to. So she has that ability. Renee, yeah, we're gonna see. Renee's been raised in a whole different bubble.
Yeah, that's why she's more emotional and crazy.
And that's why I think their episode was so boring to begin with, because it all culminates at the end. Like, whoa.
It really was a slow episode, and next week will obviously be, hopefully, something a little more exciting, as the season finale is coming up soon. So then we have this whole thing with Carla and Joe's back. It's funny, as Joe came to the door, you were the first person I thought about, Cam. I was like, I know Cam is just loving this right now, eating it right up. Which I cannot front.
He's blowing her backs out. He got home.
And
Put Junior's scar on that face. We done. Done.
Me and Cam have things for scars on the faces. It's weird.
Disgusting.
So, I like Joe.
He's personable. Yeah, he's got charisma.
He's got personality.
That boy can sell shit. Literally.
And I like him with Carla. I like their relationship. I mean, obviously it's weird to have someone out of your life for 6 years, and I feel like, I don't know if we're going to get back together. I don't know.
You can tell she still wants it.
Oh,
she still
hell yeah.
When they went out to dinner, that bitch was just like...
Right? And he complimented her, right? She's like, what?
She wanted it.
You can see them as like the Italian prom queen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I think they make a cute couple. I mean, I could be totally wrong. He may be doing this for the cameras, but I kind of feel like they have the same type of values in life. Because to me, Carla isn't someone that would have gotten a relationship with somebody. I mean, obviously he went to jail for 6 years, but there had to have been some sort of boundaries and morals established within him for her to have chosen it. When it comes to Carla, I just think she's smarter than Drita and the rest of the girls.
But usually when it comes to picking most of the men have values and standards. I mean, that's the basis for the Italian mob, right?
Yeah, it's just they rationalize certain things away, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, to me, I don't think Joe goes out and whores around, cheats on. I feel like he... Well, no, wait. When they were younger, honestly, I kind of think so. But I don't know. I think once it started becoming more family, to me, I just get that from him, and I could just be. This is just me pulling it.
I think he just has that much game. He's just got it good.
This episode, Renee said he has a lot of female friends. So, and he did come.
No, that was Junior. This is Carla and Joe.
Carla and Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carla and Joe.
And he did have a lot of game, though, sitting at the table when he made the comment about, yeah, you should do the speed dating. You know, what if you see a nice guy, you like the guy, and you meet the guy, and you want to be with the guy?
I think it was a genuine conversation. Almost like, there was no, it was, lighthearted. It was cool.
Oh.
And he talked about girls, too. And then she could pull back a little bit. It's like, how do you know so much about speed dating? Kind of things.
He's been in prison for 6 years.
That's a different kind of speed dating in there. So Carla ends up going to the speed dating thing
had a
with
theme, right?
Drita, which was Fireman Night. Yeah. I don't really think that went over too well with Drita. I said that she had one guy that was already engaged, which is like, well, why are you here doing this? Another guy was from Alaska. And the other one told her that he needs to fast forward the divorce and they can get things started. And then another guy just showed her abs.
That whole thing seemed more like a marketing plug by Jen. Like she made some kind of deal with this bar and the calendar thing and just get it in, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of odd.
As they're showing all the calendars. And I did think it was some sort of charity or something. Once the guy said he was engaged, I was like, all right, there we go with that.
I can see Drita either with a really outgoing black guy or a macho meathead Italian.
And she said it herself. She goes, "I can't be with somebody if I think I can beat him up. I can't be with them." Like,
Well, we saw her in the club. She's
girl,
like,
I totally feel you.
she knows she was trash too. She had to been drunk to be running around like, let me hit you. Like, bitch, no, we're not in preschool anymore, kindergarten, where you're chasing boys around the playground.
It's the Albanian love tap.
Sorry, Bo. I don't know. Where do you think this whole thing is going with Drita? I mean, I guess you got to get out of your house, but don't you think you should handle the house and the business there first, and your kids, and rather than trying to go out and find a man?
Right, and the whole drama with the guy who knew Lee and said, "Hey, tell him I said hi."
And how did that make any sense? Please, did that make any sense to anybody?
Well, why does she care what Lee hears or not? Like, you're in a club. Who cares?
He said, "Say hi."
You're
All you do
dating.
is you say, "Okay." Mm-hmm.
You're getting divorced.
You don't have to actually say it to him.
If you want to stay with him, don't get divorced.
That's me scratching and thinking right there. So yeah, again, these girls weren't really giving us that much this episode, but who did and always delivers? Renee, hot mess of the reality TV world.
Yeah.
And it makes me just think, I don't know how to feel about this, because this whole episode I'm sitting there thinking, like, as a sister, how do you let your sister do this on national television? I understand it makes you a lot of money. I mean, that's the only understanding that I can get from it, because I don't think it's healthy at all for Renee to be going through these emotions and feelings in front of the world.
Yeah, because not only do you have to try and understand it yourself, you now feel like you have to explain it to the world after the fact and justify and make excuses for, and just that. I just thank God, because I was thinking like, oh my God, please don't exploit AJ in this situation. Like, you know, I was thinking, oh my God, they're gonna videotape his reactions, and I was like, if you truly love your nephew, you're gonna cut it short. So I was kind of happy with that, because I was just kind of like, oh, really?
Well, I actually wrote that down because AJ was one of my favorite parts of the episode tonight.
He's like, oh God.
When she was crying, he like walked in with this girlfriend. She was like, "Come here." Why? What? Why? What?
AJ, you know I love you.
Oh yeah. Like, please just get upstairs.
Oh God, no.
He's like, let's just go upstairs and get it in. My mom's downstairs. She's not caring right now. But before the whole Junior thing happened, Renee sat Junior down and apologized to him how crazy she's been going. And, you know, she makes these things saying that I'm acting crazy because I want something with you. And part of me understands what she wants out of it, but I think that it's so, I feel like she thinks she's entitled. Well, she does feel that way. But within that entitlement, she's not seeing the other side of it. Do you think Junior is being stubborn in this situation, or at all? You think Junior is doing everything correctly in the way he should be doing?
I'm not saying correctly, but I think in his own head and mental well-being, he has to get away from that. She is a ticking time bomb.
I mean,
you know, she chose to wait for him to get out of prison. She made all of those choices, and I get the fact she thinks it's a loyal thing because of the lifestyle she grew up in, but he is not Italian. He's not of the mob. He was a Puerto Rican. They somehow got involved in it. She's expecting him to be something that he's technically not in reality. And when you have expectations on other people, you generally are most times disappointed. I'm not saying she's to blame, but you're to blame.
For somebody who's like claims to be so strong and comes off so strong, she's the weakest one.
It's because she's emotionally unstable, and it has a lot to do with her grounding was so minimal from her parents. She was spoiled, you know. She lived in that disillusioned bubble. That wasn't the mob life then, doesn't exist anymore, and it was not reality.
And I just want to talk to your sister, Renee, for 1 second. You're wrong, bitch. you're wrong, because this bitch is already crying and all that shit, smoking 4 packs of cigarettes on those phone calls. I was like, damn, I thought I was a chain smoker. That
you wonder if Jenny even said, you know, after filming it, like, Renee, do you really want this to go on TV? I would hope that there was that offer, like, you know, you are my sister first and foremost. I would hope.
Do you see those shots of Renee laying in bed?
Yeah,
I wrote that down.
And then
like,
right, they zoom on, they focus in on the
face.
pills. Right, it was like, wow, that was a great editing. But I was like, wow, this is your sister.
No, like, Renee, you must have did some up shit when you were younger, because this is revenge at its best. Like, Mob Wives, Mob director,
And if it gets you
producer.
money for therapy, because I mean, obviously there's only one loaf of bread in that house now, because she complained about the money. This is all I have left. I get all of that. It's just, wow.
Like, they could do a whole Dr. Drew celebrity rehab with just her.
Oh, totally.
That would be entertaining enough.
And I was telling
Intervention / Dr. Drew celebrity rehab.
The whole, for me, all of that stuff was just, oh God, here she goes again. But when she did her confessionals and, you know, she was made up, and just the asides by herself off that whole kitchen scene, I definitely, that resonated with me. You could tell she genuinely was hurting as a person, as opposed to the dramatic camera screaming and crying and I'm going to find him, where's he at kind of thing. You know, talking about being alone. Her biggest fear is being alone for the rest of her life, and having dreamed that she would be able to spend the rest of her life with the person who's going to protect her. That totally resonates with women across the board, and obviously me, you know, too. But
I mean, all of us who wants to grow up alone, and in the end of it, especially when you can relate to, it's the father of her child. It's the guy that she's been with since.
Well, the guy she put her life on hold for. Because
Yeah.
I mean, what? At least a third of that time was him in prison, right?
And she even, you know, so basically she wakes up and goes downstairs and finds a letter from Junior. What Junior wrote, I don't know. Did you take it as him being genuine, saying I love you? Do we think Junior really loved her, or do we think that he was just trying to play a good guy on camera, or saying, you know what, I'm not in love with her, I think the bitch is crazy, but if I don't say this, she might snap and kill herself?
Nah, I think Junior used to love her. I don't think he loves her anymore. I don't think he had any intentions of really trying to be with her.
He's by no means in love with her at all. I believe he loves her. That's the mother of his son. I get all that, but yeah,
I don't think he's trying to move forward.
And
I believe that the letter was genuine, because knowing what we know is going on behind the scenes and what's leading up to, I think it was genuine, because why else? He had no reason to be fake. No, like, bitch, fuck you, I'm out.
Well, and I also thought it was interesting that he wrote in the letter, I asked you to go to dinner last night, and she said, I've been ignoring him for 2 days.
Just throwing a tantrum.
So, I mean, commend him on that, and the fact that you wanted to go to a public place with her and tell her this, because that seems a little dangerous to me. So she finds this, she's bugging out, she's calling everyone I would never want to be this girl's friend, because I would not want those types of phone calls ever.
Right, because seriously, I think Karen's fairly, I mean, I'm a Karen fan, so I think she's fairly strong, and she walked in and she was like, what the
And I'll give Karen this episode. I will give Karen this episode, because I'm not a Karen fan, but I will give her this episode. She actually has a heart. I really believe she has a heart. And exactly like you just said, she walked into that house and was like, oh, this is some real shit. Like, I can deal with my husband going to jail. You got to live and stand for that shit. But this is some real shit. And she might, like, we can't let her sleep here alone. I'm going to sleep in the bed with her. Like, Karen was... Now, thoughts on the phone call to the prison. That was weird.
That's some snoopery right there.
Snoopery how?
Like, this is what you're going to do, Nicole. You're going to call as if you're me. I was like, wow, you're going to really set this up.
Well, but first of all, I did kind of think that the person on the other line was wicked rude.
Oh, I get that too. But I'm sure. But you think about it. But yeah, you think about it. The calls they get, all crazy girl. I get all of that too. I understood where the girl on the other end was coming from, but it didn't. Then it turned TV when she's like, "Are you the same girl that just called?" And she went on to give her information.
Right. No.
Oh, I can see him. He's okay. Don't worry about it. I see him. He's okay. It was just weird.
Well, I mean, obviously we know that he was not really in jail. He
right
was helping them out. So it's almost in the fact of in the sense.
How do you know that he had to be in their custody though?
Well, it was released that he
it was witness protection.
Right, I know. But still he still has to be in their custody.
Right, but meaning she's trying to figure out what prison he's in and where he's being transferred to. So at this point, he could be I mean, I don't know. I really don't know the
process.
Before, so I don't know what the process is, but I can't imagine the person that you're calling on the line just so happens to be standing in front of that hotline, or that number is just standing in front of all the inmates, unless it's a county jail.
No, that's what I mean. I thought that was a little weird, and the fact that if you weren't going to divulge information in the beginning, why are you now all of a sudden divulging information?
Exactly. And then for them to ask what prison he was at, well, aren't you calling the prison?
No, I'm sure. Yeah, see, that's a good point. I didn't think about that too. I was like, well, maybe it was just like a federal line that it was a generic.
And he's just at this.
Yeah, he's standing in front of her. Like
he's at the call
room.
center. And you know, another thing, Karen didn't think the letter was genuine. She thought that there was something weird about the letter. I don't know. I think the letter was partial genuine, but I think he just didn't want to. To me, I think he just didn't want to look like the bad guy.
And I could flip to your side too, and he's just trying to ease it up because the shit's gonna hit the fan, and
it still is his son. So it's not, and you know, that bitch is gonna like have that letter framed, like
that's what your father did.
Pray to that letter every day, and she still wants to be with him, and that's what also got me with Junior.
Stupid. He
was saying, please, like, find a better man than me. That's someone saying, when someone says that to you, that means they don't want to be with you no more.
Mm-hmm.
They're done with you. They know no one's ever going to admit, oh yeah, I'm a piece of shit. You deserve better than me. I mean, that's a big man.
Well, it's the same thing. If you say, not that I've,
open it up, Cam.
I have. You know, when I broke up with somebody, like, you know, I'm not a good person. And basically, but that was me trying to be, so instead of just saying, we're breaking up, you have this extended conversation. It's unnecessary. No matter what when you break up with somebody, no matter what you say, it's never going to be sufficient. Mm-hmm. Why go on any further? You're not giving, no matter what you tell the person, they hear something totally different anyway. It always translates into something different. So maybe Karen's right and that letter was bull anyway.
Well, do we almost blame the friends? Do we almost blame Drita, Karen, and everyone around Renee? I mean, to me, as a friend, I don't,
because she's crazy.
She is crazy, but I mean, she's sitting here. They go out and talk damn enough. Why don't you have a real conversation with her, rather than just sitting there and listen to her say, you know what? Honestly, Renee, if he did wake up every morning and gave you a kiss, if he did say I love you every morning and gave you a kiss, I still think you would find something else that was wrong.
But I think you know
the
answer to that. Why don't you think they're completely honest with her?
Because I think you know what, maybe Drita is. I think maybe that's why she's always flip-flopping, because she doesn't hear what she wants to hear.
Because she didn't call Drita.
No. Well, she's mad at Drita because Drita.
But in that kind of thing, you can see somebody bipolar, they're going to forget the whole Ramona conversation, and they just want somebody there to listen to because they just want to ramble and rant.
Right.
She didn't call Drita. It's most likely because Drita is probably the most bluntly honest with her. But the minute you say something to Renee in honesty, she takes it a whole different way. Like it's an attack on her, specifically and personally. So something that I've dealt with people like that. You cannot get through to them.
It's almost being
you're just sitting there to let them burn, blow their steam, and then hopefully they tire themselves out. Because that's what Karen's like, okay, I gotta go.
I don't know. I mean, on that note, I'm excited for next week, but they really didn't give us too much other than that final.
Well, and the thing that she calls her cousin, right, to help get the cousin's help
well,
to
we
find
out about the
Junior,
wire.
and then Not yet. I mean, at the end of this episode, she's talking to the cousin because she wants his help to find Junior. And in the meantime, the cops are there to arrest her dad. You know, and she just flips out on a whole nother level.
Now, the way that we heard it happened in real life, technically she's going to be going to the hospital next episode because she was in the hospital for
She went to the hospital during the arraignment.
Right? Oh.
At the arraignment of her father.
Okay.
That's when she broke down and had her
For
little
what,
hissy
anxiety or something.
Yeah. Oh.
Just depression.
She's so over dramatic. I just sometimes don't believe her.
You know what though? I know there are people out there like this. I mean,
Yeah, and they
not
fake
to
it.
put no.
They fake it until it actually makes them really that sick.
Some
Seriously.
some people. But I will say, and I'm not going to put this woman on the spot because I love you dearly. And hopefully you're not watching because you're going to know as soon as I say it. Some people have really crazy anxieties, and it's things that were triggered from something that happened when they were younger, very young, and it's a anxiety that if you don't seek medical help and stick with that medical help, the medication only makes it worse. And then it becomes a phobia.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally
And
agree
I
with
think
that.
she's at the highest rate in just the
Right, thank
TV.
you, Dr. Janedy.
You're welcome.
Well, and the TV has now exacerbated her situation. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's completely blown it up. I mean, she asked for it. Now, is the money, that's what I'm saying. We talked about this before. Like, get out. Is the money worth
But
this?
does she know that she is this bad? Like, on TV.
If she doesn't, then her counselors or her therapists need
But
to
we
be...
never see her going to a therapist.
But at this
We
point,
did. She had therapy before in this season too.
Yeah, she had therapy.
But it's not a continued
Right.
therapy.
That
And
we
I
have
mean,
seen, but that's my thing.
oh,
Any
could
therapist
it-
right off the bat,
especially if she's getting medication, she probably
on your first assessment, that would have been, I would say in general, would have been a first remark or a first assessment would have been that the TV situation is not helping your health
She
and your
just
mental
needs some
well-being.
good loving. That's what she needs.
well,
needs
this
to get
ain't doing
laid.
it for you. This show ain't gonna
Forget
help you
about
get
Junior, mend her relationship with her father, or let it go.
that. Well,
On a lighter note, Drita did a video with French Montana, so everything's a go.
And Rick Ross.
okay.
Oh,
On that note, we're going to a commercial break, and we will be
that's why I
back
said I
with
could see her with
predictions.
the black hair.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, totally.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
All right, so we are back. Before we get into predictions, we used to do little Mob Wives superlatives, and just thought of a good one. Who do you think is going to be the wealthiest of all the Mob Wives? Tweet us at AfterBuzzTV or hit us up on Facebook. The wealthiest of all these Mob Wives. Now, Cam, you just said, who do you think?
I would say Karen because her book has been on the bestseller list for over 4 weeks now. So it's doing really good. A lot of good feedback. So we'll see.
Do we think that she'll have the longest running fame off of the show?
No, I wouldn't think so. I would think probably the most memorable is Big Ange. I'm hoping that she gets something out of this.
Mykee?
The most wealthy now or will be after the show's done? Will be?
Longevity.
I don't even. To me, none of them will fall off the face of the earth next year. So I don't know. I can't even answer that. Maybe Big Ange. She probably will get a spinoff.
See, I want to say Big Ange,
Big Ange or maybe Drita.
but I'm worried that. But they are playing Big Ange kind of good, but I just don't want her to get washed up. And I could see that kind of happening if they gave her a spinoff. It could almost kind of ruin the whole
Dry
Big
out too
Ange
fast.
thing. Drita, I love you, girl, but I just don't know if I think she's business savvy enough for this business. So I'm going to say Carla.
Okay.
Because I think Carla's going to end up screwing a really rich guy and get some seeds in her.
It's like, what do you see Drita doing? Like, I don't understand. I can't.
Like the
see
modeling thing, I was like,
because Karen knows she's not the prettiest one, so okay, let's write a book, let's write another book, or do something else, get behind the scenes of something. Renee did style; she was a stylist.
I don't really honestly see any of them getting any richer.
Okay, you know what Drita needs to be like a woman's MMA fighter.
Right, something like that. Go with your good. Why fight against the grain? You know you like to fight. Keep fighting.
Get it, girl. On that note, let's head into predictions. I mean, there's really only one thing to predict.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What are you excited to see next week? I mean, all we saw is more Renee screaming, and then basically all the girls trying to help Renee out. I mean...
Well, and then I think Renee... Now it's Karen's turn to be honest, and she... Because there's already rumors before we actually hear the news that Junior may have been the one who ratted out her dad, and Karen tells her, you know, going by his behavior, I would have to say it's true. So we'll see.
Whereas Ramona's playing the safe card. She's like, we don't know if anything.
We don't know.
Girl, please. What do you think is going to happen?
Wasn't Ramona the one who was dogging Junior in the beginning? All of a sudden.
And now Drita's the one that's been thrown in. Do you think Drita's going to step in for this?
I don't think she can.
No?
I don't think she can. She's like, oh, Renee. That's it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Next week.
Tweet us. Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
clearly, Renee and Drita are now back friends because we've seen them on interviews on different talk shows lately. So I'm sure they got over it.
No,
they had
I
to
mean,
have.
this is something so big. I could see Drita stepping in, being there for her. And
oh, totally. And like I said, that whole conversation thing was a hearsay situation. And maybe Drita just says, you know what? I didn't hear it firsthand from Ramona's mouth. It was from somebody else. And let's just squash it because I didn't hear it directly. So
do we think they're probably saving that for the reunion?
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that. I'm actually really excited for the reunion. I kind of need these episodes to speed up a little more because the reunion is just going to be a big blowout if they even can have these girls in the same room. It might be like Drag Race where they put them in separate illusion lounges. So yes, on that note, guys, thank you for joining us. We're sorry about being a day late for you with your Mob Wives update. We will be back next Sunday after Mob Wives. You can follow me at DJ Jesse J. Make sure you guys check us out at AfterBuzz TV. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff.
At Tomakava777.
At Mykee Wattz.
And also, guys, subscribe to us on iTunes. Comment, rate. Please. And vote for Maria on Dancing with the Stars tonight.
Team enough.
Boop, boop.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.